Hello there, thanks for joining us on CoreTV News this hour. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Aliyu Abubakar as the new Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the National Identity Management Commission. His appointment, which is with immediate effect, follows the expiration of the tenure of Chris Onyemenam, General Manager Corporate Communications and IMC. Abdul Ahmed Omar confirmed this appointment in a statement issued in Abuja. According to the statement, Aziz was a pioneer staff of the NIMC and the Director Information Technology and National Identity Database Department of the NIMC before he retired in 2014. He has more than 30 years of post-qualification experience in engineering and information technology, spanning both the private and public sectors. Former Kogi State Governor Abubakar Audu has been buried. The APC's governorship candidate, whose election was declared inconclusive by INEC, died on Sunday. The burial ceremony attracted political bigwigs and sympathizers who thronged the deceased home to pay their last respect. Rashid now reports.
The declaration of Saturday's Kogi governorship election as inconclusive by the Independent Electoral Commission was greeted with diverse reactions amidst speculations of what happens next. But in the case of the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, Abubakar Audu, the journey is over as he transits to great beyond. Emotions were betrayed even by strong men, including Audu's running mate James Falike, who could not take back his tears. The little hope of seeing Audu again came to play as sympathizers went in marathon prayer, but the hope for his resurrection was dashed when his remains was brought out for Janazah. The old and young could not hold back tears as they catch the last glimpse of late Abubakar Audu. They also had words for the man they cherished and respected.
The main icons of development I have in where he sang on. So that's why people are endeared to him, that when he comes in, whatever he says he will do, he must do. He will accomplish it.
It will be very, very difficult to have somebody who takes its position in Kogi State. That's why almost every Kogi said it must be him this time around to be the governor.
The burial rites over, the gathering dispersed, leaving a signal to the end of an era and the wake of a new dawn in Kogi's politics. Rashid, CoreTV News, Obonija, Kogi State.
First Executive Governor of Kogi State, Abubakar Audu, has been buried the day after he died in his country home. He died at the time results from the governorship election in which he was a leading contender were being collated. We'll now take a look at the life and times of one of Kogi State's most prominent indigenes in this report.
It literally bestrode Kogi politics like a colossus that many people think he was. Since he was first elected governor in 1991, Prince Abubakar Audu has participated in every governorship election to date. He was twice elected governor and was on the verge of winning, got a third time until he died while the result of Saturday's election were being collated. Born on October 27, 1947 to a royal family in a rustic settlement in Kogi State, Prince Audu rose to prominence as a British-trained banker but became better known as flamboyant politician. He spent 25 years with the First Bank, formerly known as Standard Bank, in different capacities at management levels until 1986, when he was appointed as Commissioner for Finance and Economic Planning in the former Benue State in 1986. 2 years after, he returned to First Bank of Nigeria PLC as General Manager, but was in 1991 named Executive Director of SFB International Bank PLC. This too was short-lived as Audu soon ventured into politics to contest for the governorship position in Kogi State under the ticket of the National Republic Convention in November of same year. He was sworn in on January 2, 1992 as the first executive governor of the state. a seat he occupied for about 22 months until the Abacha coup put an end to his tenure in November 1993. In 1999, when democracy was restored, he again contested on the platform of the All People's Party, and for 4 years embarked on what his supporters have described as the most productive years in the young history of the state. Aldo lost his bid for a second time to Ibrahim Idris in 2003. Undeterred, he made another attempt in 2007, but was again defeated by Idris. Even though he was later able to prove his allegations of electoral malpractices, the election tribunal ordered fresh elections, which Aldo again lost. In 2011, the dogged politician was again on the ballot paper and again lost to a relative newcomer, Idris Wada. Last Saturday was Prince Aldo's 5th attempt to get a second term of 4 years, and prior to the election, he had maintained that he would pave the way for power shift to Kogi West or Central after the endless domination of the political terrain by the majority Igala of Kogi East. And there was indeed on the cup of victory, leading the incumbent by over 40,000 votes when the election was declared inconclusive, because the number of cancelled votes, put at about 49,000 votes, was more than the difference between the leading candidates. It was in the midst of these that news filtered out that the Prince of Obonicha had kept a date with fate within hours of casting his vote and expressing optimism about realizing his long-standing ambition. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be. Prince Aldo Abubakar died when victory was in sight.
Meanwhile, Lagos lawyer Festus Keyamo says Aldo Abubakar's running mate, James Faleke, has the constitutional backing to run as the party's candidate with the death of the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in Kogi State. In a statement, Keyamo emphasized that the duo ran a joint ticket which has already been allocated votes before the election was declared inconclusive. He, however, conceded that the Constitution does not emphasize the death of a candidate in the middle of an electoral process, arguing that the closest scenario to what happened was in 1999 when Atiku Abubakar became vice president soon after emerging as a Adamawa state governor. Keyamo noted that the same constitutional provision of Section 181 subsection 1 is the best in this situation, adding that the party would have to choose a running mate for Faleke in the next phase of the Kogi State governorship election. Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha has dismissed claims that he blamed APC national leader Bola Tinubu for Abubakar Aldo's death. He blamed the report on Facebook supporters of the People's Democratic Party. His Special Assistant on Information and Communications Technology, Ike Bona, said in a statement that the allegation is a tale full of thrash. He maintained that Okorocha spent the better part of Sunday chairing a stakeholders forum of Southeast leaders and did not return to Owerri that same night. The governor's aide wondered why the author of the allegation did not cite the medium where they claimed they got the interview supposedly granted by his principal. He described the purported interview as a ploy to bring Governor Okorocha at loggerheads with leaders of the party, especially Bola Tinubu, who he said his principal holds in high esteem. We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with more stories. Join us again.
The man on the streets have come to realize that the power to make decisions lies in the hands of the people.
I don't think there is.
5 local government out of the 30 local government is more than many states in the north.
The economy is booming. Where is the economy booming?
Blast in Abuja. Don't you have security?
Why are we fighting? President should not just sit in Abuja or in Asokoro or wherever he lives. Those are supposed to be broken. They cannot be there and be here at the same time. Life of the citizens, community need to be protected.
It can't work out.
Bring the message of peace. Let there be proper devolution of power from the center. The center is too powerful.
It's trying to do the best, but people are hasting. Why are you hasting? Why are you hasting? Why are you hasting?
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back. You can get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handles at CoreTV News NG, or streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, Live Space and News. Senate President Bukola Saraki has charged the standing committees on petroleum upstream and downstream to facilitate timely passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill, the PIB. He was speaking at the inauguration of 12 more committees at the National Assembly complex.
Ensure that the resources that you require in order to be effective will be provided. The Senate Committee on Education. The 8th Senate is keenly aware of the dwindling fortunes of our education institution and the need to develop and implement a series of programs to revitalize basic education and secondary education. The Senate Committee on Education is charged with charting the course of the Senate's response. The 8th Senate expectations that before the end of the session, the committee will put in place a roadmap of necessary legislative intervention to revamp basic education secondary school system as a whole, with a framework that will directly target technical growth and competition. The Senate Committee on the Petroleum Upstream, Downstream and Gas, the oil and gas industry remains the lifeblood of the Nigerian economy. The industry is going through a downturn period, which represents also the opportunity for us to reform the local industry to meet the challenges changing times. Attempts in the past to reform the industry to the Petroleum Industry Bill have not been able to go full circle for a number of reasons. Significantly, this Senate this time round has adopted the PIB as one of our legislative agenda. It is our intention that this time round we will break this jinx. And in Senate, in doing that very soon, we hope that we will be able to come up with the PIB for first reading. After that, the effort now depends on the Senate committees of upstream, downstream, and gas. We challenge you that once these bills are brought before you, they should receive prompt attention. And let us move from the past that some of the bill PIB stays for months and months with the committees to ensure that we implement and deliver on this promise.
I particularly count it as an honor and fulfillment of our collective electoral promise to our constituents to have been entrusted with the responsibility of repositioning these sectors for effective service delivery. We are all aware of the importance of these sectors in nation building. Education, they say, is power and must be given adequate and priority attention for the present and future development of our nation. It is disheartening to note that majority of our youth still roam the streets without work, despite the huge natural endowment of our nation. In order to try and alleviate the myriad of problems confronting the country, we shall all join hands with the present administration towards salvaging these sectors from further damage and total collapse.
It's been 3 weeks of persistent food scarcity and long queues, but there seems not to be any respite in sight as business operators resort to buying food from illegal vendors and at very exorbitant prices. Our correspondent Sarah Yeko, while roving the street, focuses on the effect of this impediment on small-scale businesses.
Aside from commuters queuing at filling station for premium motor spirit PMS, which has become a norm in the past weeks, small business operations in Lagos and other parts of the country are not left out as they also feel the brunt of the persistent fuel scarcity. With the erratic power supply in the country over the years, small businesses largely depend on petrol to keep their enterprises running and contribute their own quota to the Nigerian economy. This, however, seems to be difficult in the face of continuous challenge of fuel scarcity.
The fuel scarcity has affected in a lot of ways. Like, for example, this morning when I was taking my kids to school, before I got to Berger, my car was already showing red light, and I just kept on praying that I hope my fuel will not finish, and I needed to pick my kids in school, so I needed to start looking for black market to buy, because the queue in the filling stations are so, they are just too long that I just cannot even queue up.
This Lagos State know that there is fuel scarcity, because from my house to here, to this Olora junction, I used to take transport of 300 naira, but since last week I'm spending 550 naira. So there is fuel scarcity everywhere now.
The issue of fuel scarcity seems to continue unabated, as getting the product have become so difficult, with some filling station selling above the official pump price and black marketers having a field day.
When people come here, they demand for cool something, and normally we don't have cool something here because of no light. For past 1 week I've been here, I've never seen lights for daytime like this.
With the Yuletide season around the corner, operators of barbing salons, hairdressing salons, business center owners and other business operators are calling on the relevant authorities to find a lasting solution to the challenge of fuel scarcity. Sarah Ayoko, CoreTV News, Lagos.
A magistrate court in Abuja has fixed December 1 to rule on an application filed by the Department of State Service for the transfer of the suit against pro-Biafra activist Nnamdi Kanu. Now, this was after the DSS had produced the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra in court on request. Our correspondent has details in this report.
The IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu arrived in the court beaming with smiles at about 10:30 a.m. amidst heavy security. His supporters had also mobilized in their numbers, chanting solidarity songs and demanding the release of the man they say is their hero. Policemen formed a barricade at the entrance of the court to prevent the Kanu supporters from gaining access. In court, the prosecution argued for the transfer of the case to a higher court because the man behind the banned Radio Biafra is to face treasonable felony charges. His lawyers put a strong argument against the application, but Chief Magistrate Shuaibu Usman fixed ruling for December 1. After his brief court appearance, Kanu made an attempt to speak with journalists after the court session. But his effort was resisted by the security operatives who led him into a waiting vehicle.
What we're saying is that it is for the world to look at what is transpiring. We are asking that the rule of law should be obeyed. We are not saying that Nnamdi Kanu is declared did not commit anything. But under Chapter 4 of our Constitution, he's presumed innocent. He's supposed to enjoy the bail that was given to him to enable him prepare for his trial. What we are saying is that whatever you have, put it in front of the court. Let us come and then follow it, sequentially, and then look at it from the point of law. But we are still at the preliminaries where somebody has been granted bail for over 1 month. And we're still arguing as to whether he will get his freedom or not.
While he was driven away, the crowd of supporters who had gathered near the court continued to chant freedom songs and slogans in a peaceful manner.
Outside Nigeria, the Turkish military have reportedly shot down a Russian military aircraft in the border with Syria. Russia's defense military said Su-24 had crashed on Syrian territory after being hit by fire from the ground and that its pilot had managed to eject. But Turkish military officials said Turkish F-16s had shut down the plane after repeatedly warning its pilots they were violating Turkish airspace. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a UK-based monitoring group, said the warplane crashed in a mountainous area of Latakia province, where airstrikes and fighting between rebels and Syrian government forces had been reported earlier today. Belgian security forces have arrested 16 suspects believed to have ties with deadly attacks in Paris. Police carried out multiple raids across the country, targeting 19 locations overnight in the capital, Brussels, and in the city of Charleroi, 75 kilometers to the south. The federal prosecutor Eric van der Sept said an investigative judge will decide their further detention. However, a Belgian national, Salah Absalam, believed to have been involved in the November 13 attacks in the French capital and currently in hiding in the Brussels area, was not arrested in the operation. US scientists say they have bred a genetically modified mosquito that can resist malaria infection. According to them, if the lab technique works in the field, it could offer a new way of stopping the biting insects from spreading malaria to humans. The scientists put a new resistance gene into the mosquito's own DNA using a gene editing method called CRISP. And when the mosquitoes meet their offspring, they inherit the same resistance. In theory, if these mosquitoes bite people, they should not be able to pass on the parasite that causes malaria. About 3.2 billion people, almost half of the world's population, are at risk of malaria. That wraps it on the news this hour. Join us again at the top of the hour for more.